Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about UDFAs, but before we get started, I just want to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. You could also subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to call in and ask me your questions. New episodes every Monday. And last but not least, this Saturday night, May 2nd, 8 p.m., we are live streaming. So a live watch along, I guess is the best way to describe it. We're going to be watching the Jets versus the Patriots 2010 playoff game. The link will be down below for where you can watch and listen. Definitely check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get this thing started with Sterling Johnson, Coastal Carolina defensive tackle. He's 6'4", 290. He's really just someone you plug in the middle of a 3-4 defense. He had 41 tackles, 10 for a loss, 3.5 sacks in 11 games, and he was a team captain since 2018. Something that I've noticed, and pretty much everyone's noticed, is that the general manager and coaching staff seems to lean heavy towards former team captains. No surprise that they bring one in, even if it's from a school like Coastal Carolina. Next up on the list is Lamar Jackson. No, not that Lamar Jackson. This is a cornerback from Nebraska, and he's big. He has some size to him. 6'2", 208. He's had 5 interceptions over the last 2 seasons. He's not a great tackler, and some would describe him as a little bit too aggressive, but this is someone who I thought should have went in like the 5th or 6th round. So the fact that he was there to be taken as an undrafted free agent is a steal. You're just adding depth to a position of need at the cornerback position. I'm all for this signing. I think it's a good move, and it fits their profile of a tall, physical kind of cornerback. This next guy, Javelin Guidry, is not that profile. He's a cornerback. He's only 5'9", a buck 91, but he has blazing speed. He ran a 4.29 40-yard dash. This is someone who they brought in just because he is fast. He is not a great coverage guy. He has to learn that aspect of the game, but you can't teach his speed, and they brought him in for that reason. He still has a long way to go in development. That's why he's an undrafted free agent, but that speed is legit. Next up, Dominique Davis, a defensive tackle from UNC Pembroke. He is 6'3", 315. He is a tough dude. This guy, I was reading up on him. He played his entire senior season with a torn labrum. That's not an easy thing to do, especially as a defensive tackle. Yeah, no pro day or anything like that, so I don't have a ton of info out there on him. Small school guy, obviously, but he's tough. He's physical. Could probably use a little bit more size, but nice developmental player that I'm sure Greg Williams loves. Next up is Bryce Huff, an edge from Memphis. This guy's 6'3", 255, and he has blazing speed off the edge. He is like your prototypical fast edge rusher. He's undersized. He has really good feet, but his hands aren't so great. And I wanted to read you this quote and tell me who you think this is from. So NFL.com had this. The quote goes like this: "I saw a lot of potential with him. The scouts want all the measurables to stack up, but if a guy is explosive and can drop that shoulder around the corner, I can make him a rusher." Defensive coach for AFC team. Obviously, that was the source. Doesn't that sound like something Greg Williams would say, though? That's the first thing I thought of when I read that quote. And the fact that the New York Jets picked him up as an undrafted free agent, not too surprising. The Jets don't have a ton of speed on the edge. So do I expect him to come in and get 10 sacks this year? No. Could he potentially make the roster as a special teamer / someone who could be put in situational pass rushing situations? Maybe. This next guy out of Georgia, Lawrence Cager, is a big wide receiver, 6'5", 220. Injuries kind of held him back, but he had 4 touchdowns in 9 games with 476 yards. He has great size and good athleticism. I think he could probably be like a jump ball, red zone kind of guy, maybe best case scenario. Next up, Jared Hilbers, offensive tackle from Washington, 6'6", 310. He plays both tackle and they think he could switch to guard. Something that I liked is he's versatile. Obviously, they project him to play either guard or tackle in the NFL. He played on the left side in 2018. In 2019, switched over to the right side, and he was fine. This isn't someone who you expect to come in and start. He's going to be low on the totem pole, but you're just getting another body in there for competition. That's what it's all about, man. I'm all for it. Next up, George Campbell, wide receiver out of West Virginia, 6'3", 183. The interesting thing from him is he only had 19 catches, but 7 of them went for touchdowns. Red zone threat? I think so. Lastly, you have Shaheem Carter out of Alabama, defensive back, kind of played safety, could probably play corner, a little bit versatile. He's big, 5'10", 194, potential dime defender, as I said, or maybe a high safety project kind of piece. He's aggressive to the point of the catch, but he's not a great tackler. Not really the prototypical size for a safety either. But what I like from him is he comes from a big school, and they play a lot of tough competition, and he's a starter. So maybe he doesn't turn into a safety of any importance or anything like that, but the swing seems to make sense. And that's kind of the vibe that I got from most of these guys. You're either going for good character, good speed, or from a good school. That's what I've kind of gotten from Joe Douglas and the New York Jets and undrafted free agency. Do any of these guys stick on the roster? I don't know. I wouldn't be so quick to say that, but these are the kinds of finds you have to go and look through. Lamar Jackson's really intriguing. The fast edge rusher I'm a big fan of, and I'm thinking that you can maybe get something out of Lawrence Cager. If I had to pick three guys, those are the three that stick out to me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Get at me on social media. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.